Alright guys, it's time for Kitties Militaria. And like I said, if you checked out that post earlier, we're taking a look at the 111th Brigade HV Rijeka. So, with that, and kitties approval, why don't we dive into it? The 111th Brigade of the Croatian Army, Rijeka, was founded on July 2nd, 1991. The date of establishment is taken to be the day during the 10-day war in Slovenia when a part of the Krk Battalion, which was formed at the time, took up position securing Rijeka Airport on the island of Krk in order to prevent a possible landing. A few days later, the unit was officially confirmed by the order of President Franjo Tudjman. The inhabitants of the island of Krk mainly comprised the brigade. Establishment. On January 27, 1991, a protest was held in Rijeka against the looming threat of the JNA in Croatia, and preparations for the formation of police companies began in strict secrecy in the MUP. With the founding of the National Guard Corps on April 10th, part of the police forces of the MUP were placed under the Ministry of Defense, and on April 8th, a special police unit called Ayukle was formed under the MUP in Rijeka. In June 1991, General Marian Chad, commander of the 13th Rijeka Corps of the JNA, protested in a letter against the portrayal of the army as a danger to Croatian citizens. That 13th Corps was located in the Rijeka area and was composed of several brigades and regiments. It had an estimated strength of 5,000 officers and men, and the unit commanders were mostly Serbian descent, with some Macedonians. There were only 9 Croats in the senior staff. During the permanent session of the Parliament on its 6th day, June 1991, the constitutional decision on independence and sovereignty was adopted, declaring Croatia an independent state. The brigade's first commander was the now retired Brigadier General Sergio Rabar. War Road. At the end of August 1991, the brigade was supplemented in its organization with an active A battalion, which soon grew into the main striking force of the brigade. During decisive combat operations, the brigade was joined by the Opatia Infantry Company and the volunteer platoon from Crikvenica. Shortly thereafter, part of the brigade saw deployment to the Lika battlefield, where it received its first tasks to repel the Chetniks from the road Žuta Lokva and to break the siege of Otočac and then extend the attack in the direction of Glavaca, which was successfully carried out. Other parts of the brigade had the task of preventing the penetration of parts of the notorious 13th Corps of the JNA in the direction of Rijeka, and to prevent the merger of these units with those in Gorski Kotar. In addition to these tasks, the brigade also had the task of preventing a possible penetration of the same JNA units in the direction of Rijeka, Crikvenica, and Breznica. One battalion had the task of besieging the Delnic barracks, while the Krk battalion secured the airport from a possible landing and the island itself from naval attack. The independent engineering platoon had the task of blocking the exits from the Klan barracks. After performing these tasks, the 111th Brigade gradually moved to the Lika battlefield, where it achieved exceptional combat success. Around Christmas 1991, the 111th freed up a lot of space and reached half of the strategic Serbian stronghold of Glavac. The Serbs retaliated in order to return what was lost, and for this they requested additional forces and professional JNA officers with tanks and volunteers from Serbia. The Serbian counterattack was carried out by infantry, tanks, and air force on December 31st. The city of Senje received a heavy assault, and the 111th fought the attackers with great fury. On January 1st, 1992, the fiercest attack by Serbian forces began. They attacked with infantry, tanks, aircraft, and artillery. A T-84 tank fired its main cannon on a house where members of the brigade had been staying. Boris Mircic and Milan Nedic died on the spot. Soon, the A Battalion of the 111th Brigade joined the fight and stopped the enemy's penetration. During that evening, Serbian volunteers who had wandered behind the lines were snuffed out and neutralized. On January 2nd, Croatian forces attacked and entered Tukuljac and took positions. With the signing of the armistice on January 3rd, 1992, combat operations did not stop completely. At the end of January, there was a conflict near the town of Dabar. With the further development of the peace plan during July 1992, the 2nd and 3rd Battalions were demobilized and the brigade continued to operate under the organizational form of Tactical Group 111. With the exceptional combat morale and training, the Tactical Group 111 went to the East Slavonian battlefield, specifically to Posavina. There they recorded significant results in the battles around Bosanski Brod, where they inflicted heavy losses on the enemy. After returning to Rijeka, Tactical Group 111 was reorganized into a military brigade, with the basic task of educating and training soldiers in the final part of their military training. This is followed by another trip to the Lika battlefield and continuing with the training of conscripts, but also participating in all defensive operations in the area of Lika and in offensive operations, the liberation of the Medak pocket in the wider area of Gospic. During Operation Bliezak, the 111th was put on standby for possible action against the enemy. During Operation Aluya, the 111th received an extremely important and difficult task. It participated in the liberation of Lichka Osijek and also part of the infamous Chetnik stronghold of Mogoraj. From the day of its establishment until the end of hostilities, 53 soldiers laid down their lives in combat operations and 282 members of the brigade were wounded. 9,000 soldiers fought as a part of the 111th Brigade, and later when it was reorganized into a regular brigade, over 17,000 soldiers were trained, which gave them theoretical and practical knowledge that they would later use in some other brigades and regiments in the defense of the Croatian homeland. The brigade was awarded the Order of Nikolai Shubich Zrinski for its participation in the Homeland War. So there you go, guys. Kind of a long one, but that is the bookwork for him. Let's take a look at what my man Mladen the Mannequin is wearing. Went with something out of the norm. He's got his American U.S. Army surplus boonie cap. Of course, he's got the Shabanitsa on it. Definitely keeps the sun out of his eyes and he can stare downrange easier. He's got the Turbo Limachi patch. Love this. Standofsky badge, and this, I don't know if you can see it, is the distinctive unit insignia of the 111th Brigade, which he also has on his shoulder. Boom. Keep his pants up and look cool. He's got a surplus US web belt. I think that's Alice. And over here, looking at his field gear, he is outfitted with a really cool US M1 helmet. And he's got M56 web gear. He's got a good old-fashioned Romanian bayonet for when the fight gets up close and personal. Some M16 mags, definitely has a canteen. He's got a butt pack with the med kit on it. A couple extra canteens over there. So this guy is ready to go out and get some Chetniks. What do you think, guys? This is the 111th Brigade out of Rijeka. And with that, hopefully we will see you in the next one. Hope you guys dig this. All those contest winners, reach out to me because a few of the parcels that went out were actually returned. So if you haven't gotten your parcel yet, please reach out to me. Other than that, I wish all of you a great day and thanks for checking out the video.